every once in a while, there's a breakthrough that makes investing more accessible for regular people. Whether it's the advent of the internet, which allowed everyone to place their own trades, or lower fees so that you could start small, to even the invention of index funds so that you could own the whole market in one go. But one missing piece still remains, and that is figuring out what to invest in. This is a process every investor has to go through because of how complicated investing is. You either have to spend a lot of time learning it yourself or pay someone to teach you, or worse, make the mistakes and end up paying expensive lesson fees to the markets. And it is the reason a lot of people never start investing in the first place. But now, I think that gap has just gotten smaller. Longbridge just launched what they are calling the world's first AI native broker. And I was invited down to the launch, where they show off an AI investment assistant. I was even lucky enough to get an exclusive interview with both their CEOs to find out more. In this video, I want to show you what Longbridge actually launched, what it can do that your ChatGPT can't, and how all this can benefit you. Let's not waste any time, and let's jump right in. By now, you would have heard of plenty of AI tools that claim to help you to invest. So how is Longbridge AI any different from the rest? For one, it is not just a single tool. There's 4 of them, and each one does a different job of helping you to become a better investor. First up, the app itself has been rebuilt around AI. Say there's some news, the app picks it up in the catalyst section and breaks down how the story could affect the company. So you're not left guessing whether a headline matters to a stock you own or not. The second tool is Longbridge AI. This is the flagship AI investing assistant. According to them, besides the usual chatting function, the thing that makes it different from the other AI chatbots is that Longbridge AI doesn't just sit there waiting to be asked. Instead, it actively scans the markets for opportunities, and because it knows your investing style and past judgments, it is able to propose investing ideas to you. Third is Longbridge Skill, and this is the one that I'm most interested in. It lets you connect AIs like ChatGPT and Claude straight into your brokerage account. There's no API key, no coding or installation needed. All you gotta do is connect Longbridge to your AI like ChatGPT and you are done. Longbridge Skill comes with 13 skills, covering things like market data across Hong Kong, US, China A shares and Singapore stocks, earnings, fundamentals, analysis, technical analysis, and chart patterns, analyst research, and even drafting orders. These are the stuff that used to require a paid financial terminal to do. But now, Longbridge Skill lets you do all that. And lastly, there's the agent platform. Think of it like an app store, but for investing agents. You can build your own agent in plain English or just subscribe to the one that someone else has already built. The idea here is that everyone here has a different way to invest. And with these agents, you can compare different methods and find the ones that actually fits you best. Naturally, I was curious about what other investors think about AI. So I asked my colleagues. If you could get AI to do one thing for you as an investor, what would it be?
I feel that AI can play the role of a coach, right? So sometimes you know the theory, but you're not very sure because especially when markets are very turbulent, right? You will panic. So if there's someone to coach you and say, why are things down? Why is the market not doing well? At least you'll be more inclined to stay the course, right? So because theory and actually what's happening they are very different things.
Yes.
So with someone to help you with your emotions and help you rationalize, I think that's something very important.
Just tell me what to buy.
Just tell you what to buy? But do you trust the result that it gives you?
Actually, sometimes the hallucination is real, so I don't really trust what it says, so I will ask it to audit itself.
Will AI make you a better investor or a lazier one?
AI will make you a clearer investor, not necessarily a better or lazier investor, because ultimately human emotions are in play, and if you cannot control your emotions, you will still lose to the market and surrender your positions. So that's what AI cannot replace you for.
Next, let's also hear it from Nowa Zhu, the CEO who co-founded Longbridge back in 2019. Skill, and what was the problem you were trying to solve?
Yeah, because a large language model, maybe there's lots of knowledge inside the large language model because training, yeah. So, but that's also just a foundation, and also without the guidance, large language model cannot answer the question completely or comprehensively, right? So, if we want uh, to answer the question or just finish the work perfectly, we should have skill to as a guidance to the large language model. Yeah, that has happened in everywhere, right? So everywhere, every companies now build skills for their agent, right? So it's just not to make the invocation for the large language model. So that's why we build the skill, especially for the industry like us, the financial industry, the securities is very vertical, right? So actually, people, especially for the retail investors, maybe they need the all they need is methodology,
Okay.
right? Especially for beginners.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we build the skill. So we just want to let skill to make the guidance to let to maybe it's also kind of the education for the beginners.
Mm.
Yeah.
So how is skill different from like other AI models like ChatGPT?
Yeah, because that's a general purpose agent.
Okay.
So we are a vertical agent with a vertical with vertical capability. So
Mm.
so we within our skills we have we have the full guidance for different uh tiers or for different capabilities to large language models, such as you can use this data for technical analysis, which data you can use for fundamental analysis, and also if you want to build a suitable analysis or even a strategy to customer or to users, how to build a suitable answer, something like that.
Okay. So
So that's not the general purpose agent have.
mm.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing to do with skill?
To the macro analysis.
Macro to see the day-to-day events, what happened
Yeah.
today, what will happen next week.
Yeah, because the macro analysis always needs some deep research or deep data and deep analysis. I think our agent can finish that work very good. Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Where do you think AI for investing will go next, and what will it look like 3 to 5 years from now?
Yeah, just like we announced today, yeah, we just want to build around you as an investor. We just want to empowering you to be to trade like a professional.
Mm.
So that's I think what will happen to next. Yeah. So I think in the next 3 years, everyone will have an agent to help them to invest, and also that should be under the regulatory under the regulation, right? It's a compliance uh, uh, agent. That's the opportunity of Longbridge, because we are a licensed entity. We know the whole foundation, the guidance, the governance, and also the regulation, the framework for the AI.
I also sat down with Gavin Chia, their Singapore and regional CEO, who has close to 20 years of experience in the industry. What do you personally use skill for?
Interestingly, I mean, I use skills to increase, as what my daily job. I always use it less trading, but more towards productivity in terms of how I can make the company more productive. How do we actually infuse a little bit more technology into the company? How to actually have statistics that is make it faster and easier for me to look at. I think, if I want to put it on two phases, one is strategy and one is productivity.
For a Singapore investor who has never connected AI to their brokerage before, what's the first thing that they should try?
I think they should try to download a Longbridge app that have a Longbridge account, because if you look at the launch today, we are there, and clients who are very keen to know more about AI and how to actually have trading to be infused into the app itself. I felt that everybody should download Longbridge and have a good try, and from there more will come. That's how we get it.
But after downloading that, what should be their first thing here to
look up. They should actually explore around in terms of the AI functionality. I mean, in terms of it's not so much as the features itself. Right now, currently we have these agentic features. Even the AI will help you to think about many things. It's no longer about asking just a question and you have an answer. It's based on your profile, based on what you are looking at, your time horizons, the different factors, and from there the AI will be able to customize different scenarios, and from there come up something that is more catered to yourself, oneself. So feel free, have a good try, have a good run of it. We felt that will actually change a lot in the market. So.
Okay, last question. You have been in Singapore markets for nearly 20 years. What's actually changed about how Singaporeans invest and what hasn't changed?
Yeah, I think that's a very great question from your side. If you don't mind, I'll just answer the third time today. 6 years ago, if I look at the online brokerage, we focus a lot more towards live market data, and commission was still high. I mean, 6 years down the road, we are not seeing this issue anymore. I mean, if you look at nearly all brokerage, they are actually providing live market data, and commission, I got to say, is decently quite low, or competitively low. If you ask me, I felt the next space will be AI. That will be the beacon, or that will be actually the basic framework in terms of how many brokerage will go towards. So that's how I look at it. It surely will take a little bit of time to change, but we are seeing this in a shorter time that a lot of things will concurrently move towards that direction.
Now, of course, I didn't just take their word for it, so I decided to try out their new AI for myself, starting with the Longbridge app itself. To open up the AI feature, you just tap on the AI button at the bottom right, and here, Longbridge will show you the latest catalyst that's happening right now. For example, Japan has just ordered 27,500 NVIDIA chips, but does this actually matter, or is it just noise? Tapping in, it breaks the story down, what happened and why. Then it also flags it as a growth story and explains why this one order could fit into NVIDIA's growth specifically. Then it also goes one step further and lines up the related news. SK Hynix ramping up production, NVIDIA denying any delays. So now, it's not just one random headline, it is a whole storyline already laid out for me. So in the one time it takes to read one article, I went from is this even relevant to actually understanding the impact. And that's just the first step. Longbridge also plans to build on it. So a catalyst can turn into a signal, then a strategy, then a trade plan that you can look through before you commit. After the trade is done, it can even review the call with you. Next, Longbridge AI. Because it is connected to my portfolio and my watch list, I could ask it stuff that are relevant to me. For example, I have a ton of stocks on my watch list. So instead of going through them one by one every day, I could just ask Longbridge AI to actually look at my watch list and tell me what moved and whether any of them were worth a closer look. And here's the results. Out of the whole watch list, it flagged Google as the one to pay attention to. The stock has been for up to 2 days, running and breaking higher, likely on AI news. Then there's the Longbridge skill, which allows you to plug your own AI straight into your own Longbridge account. With it, you can do even more stuff. For example, I could point it at my own portfolio on Longbridge and ask for a full health check. And this is the part no AI on its own can do, because it is reading my actual holdings live from my account. So it broke my portfolio down by sector and by currency, work out my true exposure once you count what's sitting inside my ETFs, and flag where I'm too concentrated. And for each risk, it handed me a concrete way to fix it. Now, I won't go too deep here because I'll be doing a full video on how you can set all this up and share a few prompts that you could try out. So stay tuned for that. Now, the last one, the agent platform. To find it, you tap the message button on the top right, then explore agents, and you get this whole list. And these aren't just generic chatbots. Each one is a proper strategy, from quality value to anti-fragile to turtle trading system. But let's try CanSlim, which is supposed to help discover growth and momentum stocks. After a few rounds of analysis, it didn't just give me a quick take. It went through the stock's earnings, its financials, what the big institutions are holding, even the analyst views, and scored the stock against the 7 things CanSlim checks for. And it didn't just stop there. It builds out a whole plan, how it would size the position, where it would add, and where it would cut the loss. Okay, here is my take. As I said earlier, cheap trading was never really the barrier. The barrier was knowing how to research a company, read the numbers, and spot the risks. And that's the part this just got knocked down. Everything I showed you, checking a stock, going through a whole portfolio, breaking down the news, that used to take hours, or a paid professional. But now with AI, you can do all of it yourself in just minutes. And this is just the start. Like Nowa said, in a few years, having an AI helping you invest is going to be completely normal. So the earlier you get comfortable with these tools, the better position that you'll be, and probably a better investor as a result too. So there you have it. All the AI features Longbridge has launched are built around you as the investor, so that you can invest like a professional, even if it's just you and your phone. To try out any of it, you need a Longbridge account, of course. And if you are signing up anyway, now is a good time. Longbridge is running a campaign for new users where you can get a 5% interest booster for a full year on $4,000 placed in your Cash Plus money market fund. And if you hit the holding and trading requirements, you can also earn Nvidia shares worth up to $1,270. Everything is in my link in the description box below. Anyway, that's all for this video. Hope you found it useful. Like, share and subscribe as I'll be posting new videos every week.